Hey there, Internet. My name is SAR Martini, and here's another episode of Shenanigans, the thing where I talk about my life and stuff and all that nonsense. So, this week's been interesting. It's been a good week, but like largely just in the last couple of days. The first part of the week, I was just kind of endless work and nothing fun, and being a boring person. But near the end of the week, cool stuff started happening. For instance, the I had a Titanfall live stream on. Gosh, when was that? Was that Thursday? Wednesday? No, it wasn't Thursday. Regardless, it was one of the days this week, and it was actually really cool. I got a live stream going. It was awesome. It worked. It went for 2 hours. The only problem is it was incredibly laggy, like shockingly so on the user's end. And I went in and tried to kind of like figure out why that was, and it turns out that it was defaulting to a setting that because of my hardware that was very, very low, which, so, lag, unsurprisingly. Um, and so because of that, what I tried to do is I set up another test one that none of you saw because I'm magic and sneaky like that. And I forced it into the nice high quality stream content. And well, it was capturing my screen accurately. It was definitely doing that. The problem is it was taking up so much processor that I could not. It was laggy. My entire computer was just bogged down. And the funny thing is, it wasn't even taking all that much processor space, especially now where computer processors are. But when I built my computer back in the day, the processor was pretty solid for the time, but it's at this point pretty behind the times in terms of gaming rigs and performance computing. So I discovered that before I need to do another live stream, I need to get a better processor motherboard setup. So I've started to do that. I'm going through the process. It's long and painstaking, specifically because Newegg.com is being annoying with my orders, and I don't know why. They won't tell me. But regardless, I'm trying to get that, and it's more than doubling my processor speed, which should mean that the next time I do a Titanfall live stream, it will be wonderful 1080p, no lag, glory goodness, and it'll just be wonderful and beautiful. What the hell? Did you guys hear that? I have no idea what that noise was. All right, well, I could hear it through these, so I'm sure you guys heard it. That was loud. Anyway, so the thing I did yesterday, which was also fun, my college or I guess twice, 2 to 3 times a year, depending on what classes we're offering for our students, does a high altitude balloon launch where we put small science experiments into the stratosphere, about 120,000 feet, give or take. And then they're up there for 10 or so minutes, and then the balloon pops because it's the stratosphere, and they all fall, and we go and find them. And we went to do one of those yesterday, but it wasn't one of the ones for our students. It was for middle school, which is a thing we do guaranteed twice a year. And it was overall a pretty good launch. It landed near an area that was really nice to recover from. And I mean, we found it via GPS locations pretty relatively quick, at least the general area. And where we stopped, we basically we figured that it was on top of this. I don't really want to call it a mountain because that almost seems like it's too grandiose for what it was, but it was a very steep hill that was several hundred feet high that we then had to climb up. And there was no easy way up the hill other than to climb directly up the face, which no, it was bad. But we did get up and we walked around on the top of it for a while until we found out that we were actually about a mile west of where we needed to be. And so we because one of the professors got another GPS coordinate from it that was a little bit more accurate, and so we started heading that away. And when we're coming up on it, there's a ravine. There's like a really, really steep drop off into a ravine that has some sort of river or creek in it or something. And it's in the ravine. Well, it's either in the ravine or through the ravine and on the next hill. That's what our GPS thing says. So we go, and at this point, the middle schoolers have been following us, and we decide that it's time for them to not be following us anymore and go back to the cars, because there's no way in hell we're letting them do dangerous stuff when we can get sued and stuff. So we go, just 4 of us, we head down the ravine, which was indeed very steep, indeed very muddy, and the plants were very brambly and scratchy, so that was fun. And then we walked up the other side of the ravine, back up onto another hill, which plants weren't as brambly and scratchy on that one, so it was okay. We get up to the top of the hill, and we walk around, and we realize, oh, great, it's not on this hill, it's on the other ravine on the other side of this hill, which is, just everything that we wanted and more. And so we go down there, and once we're actually in that ravine, we find it pretty quick. It was, in a relatively convenient spot, all things considered, in terms of, where it could have landed in the area. It was about 20 feet off of the creek, which it was a creek. It wasn't a river. They were definitely like small little creeks, like very small. And it was about 20 feet off of it. And the only unfortunate thing is it was in a tree, which is not surprising because there were trees everywhere, but it was low enough in the tree, so it wasn't a terribly big deal, but it was snagged in the tree, like a kite. You get a kite in a tree that's never going to come down kind of thing. But luckily, this has happened before, and I have a grappling hook because this has happened before. So we spent some time grappling hooking, or is that throwing the grappling hook into the tree, and after pulling down several branches, we eventually got the stuff back, and we were victorious in returning to camp, and it was wonderful and awesome and amazing, and everyone loved us, and we high-fived everyone. And then I realized I hadn't had any water the entire day, which, I mean, if I'm just, being sedentary and sitting down, not really a big deal. But when I've been hiking around for 4 hours, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a really big deal. It's kind of like I'm going to pass out, sort of a big deal. So yesterday, after that, I ended up drinking close to a gallon of water, and I was still dehydrated. I am still dehydrated, and I'm just trying to catch up. I mean, there's only so much I can drink at a time, but yeah, adventure. Now let's see other things. That are important. Ah, yes. In April 19th and 20th, so basically a month from now, Gaming Club is still throwing the WhitCon 2014 event at Whitworth University, and you should still come to that. It's whitcon.eventbrite.com. I will provide a link in the description, and you've got like 3 days, I think, to do one of those registry thingies, and it'll be awesome. If you don't do that, you can still buy tickets at the door. They're less expensive, but you get none of the things in the goodie bag. So you're buying, a crappy name badge so you can walk around. Yeah. Yes. Indeed. Indeed. That has been my week. And, so the reason that this is coming up really late on Sunday, and you're noticing that it's light outside as opposed to Saturday, is yesterday, I was getting the balloon. And then after I was getting the balloon, I went directly to Gaming Club. By the time I got out of that, it was so late and I was so exhausted that I just basically came home, fell in bed, went to sleep. I actually missed a gaming session I'm supposed to do on Sunday mornings because they called me almost an hour after it was supposed to start, and I had just slept through all my alarms, and it was not a thing. It was just not a thing. And I had to just tell them, I'm not coming today. And then I went back to sleep. And in total, last night, I slept like 13 hours is how exhausted I was. And I woke up, I don't know, not too long ago. I mean, long enough to take a shower and wake up. But it was a good night. It was a good night. I had a fun week and fun things to come. More live streams. We're going to do more Titanfall live streams. We're going to do more just other game live streams. And the SAR podcast, once again, is coming along. But we're going to wait for that extra processor, and we're going to wait for a little bit of artwork to make that a wonderful experience for all of you, and then we'll get it going. But with all that being said, thank you all for watching. Please like, favorite, subscribe, do all of your social media shenanigans, and yeah, I'll see you next week or something, right? Indeed.